Hey everyone, JCS StarCraft here, bringing you Game 2 of the Go4SC2 number 31 finals between Naama and cHoBo. Action getting started here on Steps of War, and Naama going to be spawning as the Blue Terran, cHoBo going to be spawning as the Red Protoss. Right now, cHoBo is up 1-0 in the series, and in the previous game just had a great kind of feinted to get the expansion, but instead just one base pushed, a great timing attack from cHoBo, and both these players, some of the top StarCraft 2 players in the world right now. Naama, I think, on SC2 ranks is ranked number 22, and cHoBo on SC2 ranks not quite as high, I think number like 226, but you know, he still has like 1,095 BattleNet points, and on several different sites like Go2 Gamers and SC2 Insight, he's ranked very high, I think like in the top 40 for sure. So cHoBo was a very active player during the beta, and on the Team Liquid beta rankings, I think was in the top 30 as well. Naama, very similar, a very young player from Finland, and started in Warcraft 3, now making his transition over to StarCraft 2, as many Warcraft 3 players have decided to do. Naama going to be throwing down a pretty standard 12 racks and probably a 13. This SCV not so thrilled about the probe, deciding whether or not he wants to take it, try to attack it, or go off and, you know, actually scout his opponent out. Kind of the annoying thing about Terran in the early game is that you will be harassed constantly. You need to pull off an extra probe to kind of protect your other probes, and kind of a reason why some players like to build right here into the base rather than choking off. Another reason is that later on into the mid game, that those those buildings out at your choke point can become very vulnerable to attack, and you might get it picked off, which is, you know, pretty crucial for some of the top players. They really don't want to lose a supply depot. They really don't want to lose anything if possible. And wow, cHoBo just doing a great job getting his harass on, getting shots in while he can, trying to take out an SCV and not even getting attacked in return. Naama, I think, going to get tired of it at some point and needs to be careful, because this SCV is down to 10 hit points, and finally groups and attacks that probe, going to take it out. Meanwhile, it looks like he's going to be building a bunker right in the base of cHoBo. It kind of tucked it in there, so the SCV occasionally would be unhittable. That was a great, very smart, very fun move by Naama. And is he going to run his Marina? No, he's just doing that to annoy cHoBo. Not even really making a strategy. He could have tried to run that Marine all the way across the map, but knew that Zealot was coming out, Chrono boosted, and I think might be trying to salvage this right before it goes down. So a free annoyance for cHoBo in retaliation to what was happening on his side, and it looks like, yes, he will salvage it in time. So no resources really wasted for Naama, but just adding to the annoyance. So great early game. Great early game from both players. Super early game, I'd call it. And right now, Naama going to be throwing down his supply depot here. Again, this is a great place to put your, bunker. He put, I call them supply depots, but most people, and including Blizzard, like to call them bunkers. cHoBo wanted to push in, but decided, hey, maybe not. My opponent probably has a bunker at his base. So getting the factory down and going for gas. It looks like he will be going 1-1-1 here in this build as well. Getting that starport down and throwing the tech lag, probably going to be doing a switch, floating that over, and it looks like we will be seeing some Banshee harass on cHoBo. cHoBo going to be getting a Robo facility before the second, throwing that pretty much at the same time. So 2-gate Robo will have that. He will have the Observer out to kind of hold off any sort of Banshee harass. So we'll see whether or not this is worth it for Naama to use the Banshee harass. And again, this bunker, I apologize, sometimes when I'm casting I get ahead of myself and just start calling things random names. It's actually pretty funny, because if you ever try casting, it happens, and when you don't realize it until after you watch the replay. You can go the whole game calling SCVs probes, or you can go the whole game calling something a drone, and then, you know, people tell you afterwards. But that's why it's really fun for me sometimes to watch other casters. This SCV trying to poke in right now, trying to scout out for Naama, and Naama doing a great job just kind of sending in an SCV to occasionally scout, see what his opponent's army size is, and that can indicate whether or not they are potentially going with a Void Ray Rush, or not. If they are going Void Red Rush, they probably won't have a comparable army size, and he can react accordingly. So it looks like Cloak being researched and the first Banshee coming out. But back to watching other commentators, it's always fun to see them kind of make that word mistake as well. And it's after a while you start realizing that it can be common between commentators, just because you're really in the heat of the action, and certain parts of your brain do shut down when the excitement is up in the air. It looks like this Banshee going to be coming in and trying to take out as many of the probe supply line as it can. So we'll see whether or not Naama can micro this pretty well. There are a decent amount of stalkers right now, and another one being morphed in for cHoBo. So looking, one probe going down. How many more can it take? 2 cloaks right there, but looks like the observer will be coming in. Takes out a handful more. Looking at the income tab, Harvester right now 28 over 24. So Naama doing a decent job, pulling slightly ahead, and will it get out of there in time? Yes, it will. So with only 16 hit points left, another Banshee going to be coming out as well, and tanks coming out for Naama, going to be getting siege to kind of hold down, and he's getting his second command center, so looks like he's going to be choking off and trying to hold off his expansion, as he might or might not have seen his opponent. No, he hasn't seen cHoBo get it yet. Oh, one of the Banshees going down, just overextending himself a little bit. The other one barely able to get away. Didn't even really need to cloak there because the observer was there, but survives with 10 hit points. Can it take out this lone probe out here? Takes a shot and decides not to take another shot at it. So looks like in the production tab, a Raven is coming out to get rid of those observers, and this Banshee trying to do its best. Whoa, another shot, and the Banshee goes down yet again. So looking at the front of Naama's base, has made another bunker, deciding maybe he doesn't really need it at this point now that these tanks are here, or not. Oh, he didn't like the positioning. It was one, looks like it was one too big, or maybe Naama just likes to build and rebuild bunkers because that's his thing. Not really sure at that point. To keep his APM. It looks like another Banshee is coming out, and Templar Archives going down for cHoBo at this point. So he's going to have kind of switching it up from the last game. The last game he went with a Colossus build to counteract the MM, and it seems like this game, I think, because there are tanks on the map, deciding not to go with the Colossus, and right now both players, interesting to see more Banshees coming out for Naama. Normally when that early harass doesn't work, fails, you know that your opponent has a whole bunch of stalkers as well as observers in his base. Sometimes players just kind of switch out to getting the medevacs or getting the Vikings, but looks like Naama's going to keep pushing forward with the Banshee harass the best that he can. So should be interesting what he can do. And this lone SCV kind of just patrolling right here, making sure nothing's going to go down. It's going to die a very untimely death very soon. And unfortunately for this guy, poor guy, just kind of being assigned, and doesn't. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Is this a big question? Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm pretty sure in the distance he saw the rocks kind of collapse and combust. So looks like cHoBo going to be saturating. Naama was able to take out a few of the probes, and at this point though, cHoBo will be able to catch up if he chrono boosts everything. 2 Banshees right now coming in from the side. Looking at the army tab, both players pretty even, 86 over 81. Both players kind of doing a good job keeping their macro going this game. None of that one base push stuff from cHoBo. Both players going to be establishing and trying to hold down their natural as best they can. cHoBo getting slightly ahead right now, and these Banshees going to sneak in for an attack on the backside. Trying to keep my eye on the action right now on the map, and it looks like the probe going to be discovering the SCV. What is the SCV going to do? Meanwhile, it looks like the Banshees are coming in. It's going to try to pick off as many as it can, forcing cHoBo to pull off and pull away. Does he have... I don't think he has a probe there, but just kind of fainted that he did with his unit. So driving Naama away. Naama doing a good job cloaking and decloaking. Poor SCV. He's just standing there as the base is getting built. This lone Banshee going to be coming in. Looks like Naama's going to be trying to do some sort of two-prong attack and getting a few kills. Already has 4 kills right now. Both the Banshees are attacking. Great job from Naama, forcing cHoBo to kind of redistribute his units a little bit here and there, and able to even possibly take out this, wow, was able to take out, has 8 kills right now, retreated this Banshee, so good job microing by Naama with only 2 Banshees, really able to help distribute and trying to figure out where those observers are for cHoBo. cHoBo at this point not very thrilled with what's going on, and that observer is a little bit slower to try to battle 2 fronts at once, throwing down the forge. Looks like he's going to be getting cannons in his base to hold off on that harass, but during that exchange, wow, Naama was able to take out a bunch, it looks like 10 or so probes, and gonna have a significant advantage. Stop mining this SCV. I think Naama just forgot about this SCV, but he is able to see what's going on right there. No one really cares about this SCV. This is so sad. I think this is like the saddest SCV in the world. But looking at the army tab, Naama able to push ahead. These pros are just gonna watch it. This SCV might die by photon cannon, and poor guy. So while Naama was doing that harass, has pulled ahead economically and is kind of forcing cHoBo right now. He might be trying to re-chrono boost his and I missed the death of the sad SCV, which is even sadder that I didn't even give him a proper shoutcast death. Sieging right now outside of cHoBo's base. cHoBo, I think, trying to push in, realizing that his opponent is pushing ahead, is getting ahead economically. Point defense drones going down, and this is not looking good for cHoBo. Should not try to charge into this rear, well-placed section of siege tanks right here. 6 on the map. There is a cloaked Banshee up in the air with the Raven there as well. Once they take out that observer, it's just going to do a significant amount of damage to the ground forces. So great job, great strategy from Naama. Using both opponents were kind of just turtling down in their base, and Naama going to be running in this small contingent of forces to kind of take out the backside. Although cHoBo does kind of detect what's going on because he has some sort of detection going on. I'm not sure how he saw that, but maybe just figured out things were going on. But Sentinel are going down, and while pulling the forces away for cHoBo, allowing him to establish a better siege line right now, and cHoBo just in a lot of trouble. Naama coming in here, even has Ghost in the mix, going to be throwing down that EMP, I assume. Nope, just going to die. Wow, I don't even know how cHoBo saw that Ghost running at him amidst all that crazy chaos, but it looks like with that siege line reinforcing, GG from cHoBo. Great game from Naama. Great use of micro and strategy from him as well. I'm mourning the loss of that really sad SCV, so hopefully we won't see as many sad SCV losses in the next few games. Naama ties it 1-1, and this has been JCS StarCraft signing off.